Hello everyone.
Welcome to Thursday.
Welcome to the Thursday video. Today's video, back by popular demand, the concept and idea of Mercari. Because it seemed like a lot of you had a lot of interest and enjoyed the information we gave you on the Mercari video that we did last Thursday.
Was it a week ago?
We gave you 10 brands that sell well on Mercari, and so we thought we would maybe give you some more information on it because you guys appreciated it. And today we have for you basically all of the differences that we could think of between Mercari and Poshmark from a seller's viewpoint.
We went down the line and said apples and oranges.
We literally went through the whole mental concept of when I'm listing every single aspect to it. What if there's a return? The aspects to that. What if I need to contact customer service? So we have basically every single difference between Poshmark and Mercari, and similarity. We're just comparing the two. And I'm going to be telling you the Mercari things.
And I get to be Poshmark.
Yes. First off, let's talk about titles. On Mercari, the titles are allowed to be at the longest 40 characters long, and they do not allow emojis.
And in Poshmark, you can have a 50-character title, and you can use emojis as some of those characters.
Yes, so if you're using List Perfectly from Posh to Mercari, and you have emojis, you do have to go in and delete them, or sometimes the words get cut off.
Yeah,
so make sure all your words are getting in, or you might want to take out some of the fluff words. Descriptions. On Mercari, you are required to at least put 5 words in the description, and they allow 1,000 characters.
On Poshmark, you can just do any amount. There isn't a minimum as long as it's more than 1. And then the max you can have is 500 characters.
I think on Posh, you literally could just put a period and it would count as a description.
Isn't that what those fake accounts do?
Yeah, they just require that you have something. They don't want it to be blank, but you can get away with a letter. Photos. Mercari has quite a leg up here. Mercari allows you to do 12 photos, and they can be rectangular or square. It's just when you're looking at the listing, it shows the middle square, and you can tap the photo and it'll show the whole photo.
When you open it. Poshmark only has 8 photos, and they all have to be square.
Yes, and both of them require obviously at least 1 photo. Hashtags. Now, some of you might not know what this is. Mercari allows hashtags, and you can have up to 3.
Poshmark does not allow any.
No, there's no such thing as hashtags.
I've seen people put them in the description, but I don't think they do. I know they don't do anything.
Yeah, it's kind of like a way to just get more search visibility. You just put in words that have to do
optimization, SEO.
You just put in words that have to do with your item. Like if you were listing something that looked like a Patagonia cinchilla, you could put cinchilla as a hashtag. On Posh, you can kind of do the same, like Ryan said. You can just put it in your description. You
can mention it.
Yeah. Some people even literally write keywords. They'll write keywords and then colon and then put in
all the
tags. Categories. We're gonna start with the Posh ones for this.
Okay, so Poshmark has 4 umbrella terms: men, women, home, and kids. And then there's coats, jackets, dresses, everything under.
On Mercari, they have those 4 categories as well: men, women, kids, home. But on Mercari, they allow you to sell a lot more things, more like eBay, and so there are 7 more umbrella categories.
There's 11 categories.
I didn't write them all down.
I didn't realize that, but I don't know what they all are.
I didn't write them all down, but they have
I know vintage is one, collectibles.
Yeah, it's more like the eBay ones, but eBay has 1 billion of them. Quantities in the listing when you're choosing a quantity, there is no such thing on Mercari. You must have just 1 single item that you're listing, so if you have more than 1 or more than 1 size, you have to make separate listings.
On Poshmark, however, you can do quantities, and they let you do multi-sizes for different quantities, which is so handy to have.
You can list something
nice.
You can list something on Posh and say you have 3 mediums and 4 larges. You can have them all in 1 listing. On Mercari, you would literally have to make 7 listings.
I mean, you could probably just copy paste and just
it wouldn't be too hard,
it's
but
just irritating.
It's kind of
you gotta look at 7 of the same item.
So size and brand, we kind of looped them together for some reason. Well, Mercari has a category for size and has a category for brand. They do not do sizes when it comes to bags or purses, though.
Which I always just put them in the description. I just copy paste them. Poshmark luckily has
they
all
have
the
size and brand.
Yeah, they have you can put a brand in. But on Poshmark you can do a custom brand. So if it's like a boutique item that you're listing, you can put like your boutique in there, and on Mercari you can't do that. And also Poshmark, they have a custom like bag kind of like dimension area where you can put like, length, width, height, strap top, whatever.
When you list a bag on Poshmark, it comes up as one size by default, but since they allow custom sizes, you can put custom dimensions in.
You hit the little pencil.
And yes, they allow the custom brands, which is amazing because on Mercari,
nice.
if they do not have the brand in their system,
It just doesn't show up.
you can't. You just have to have it be like unbranded, which is kind of annoying.
Well,
you
why?
they have this new thing where you can like request them to add a brand, where you type it in and you hit like request. I've done that with like 2 things. I haven't like got a notification if it's approved or what they really do with that, but maybe they do end up letting you have it listed under that, but I don't know.
Interesting.
Condition. On Mercari, they allow you to choose poor, fair, good, like new, or new.
And on Poshmark, you get new tags or not. That one I really feel like doesn't really do that much because I feel like if you just look at it, you can kind of like tell what kind. And if you just ask, like with a handbag, like you can just kind of like tell if it's like you're using this for like a DIY project or like it's like a new without tag handbag.
Both have their ups and downs. Like on Posh, it really requires that the seller will put all of the information in the description.
Yeah, no, that's definitely very true.
Since there's no like tiers. But on Mercari, some people don't really like know exactly. So like they'll mark something that's perfectly fine as like fair. And then the buyer is like fair.
Like I don't want to buy it if it's
sound
like
that good.
nasty. No.
Pricing. All you put on Mercari is the price you're asking for.
But they do now have the price drop, like the automatic like price suggestion where if you enter in a price and you turn this feature on, if it's not getting much attention or if it's not like the listing isn't just performing very well, it'll drop the price to like a set.
Your low.
Like your like automatic lowest.
Yes, but you put in all they ask for is your price, and I guess if you want to put in your bottom dollar for the price drop.
And then Poshmark, they have the original retail, and then they have your price.
Yes, so it more shows the buyer the deal that they're getting.
I wish Mercari would do that.
Yeah.
I love the
No one else really does that. eBay doesn't do that.
I think
Tradesy does.
Tradesy does. I think people on eBay just like a lot of the time they'll put in the description like MSRP, whatever the original retail was, which I feel like is okay.
And
but,
also,
like,
some people don't even use it. Some people do 0 or like 9.99.
or they'll do like 1,000, and I'm like, homegirl, that's how people like a good deal. They like a bargain.
Offers, which means the buyer offering to the seller. Mercari does allow offers, but the biggest discount you can get is 25%. So you can send a price at the max that's 25% off of what they have it listed for. But they do allow counter offers, just like most platforms.
Poshmark, the biggest offer you can send somebody is 80% off of their listed price, and they do allow counter offers.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
Yes.
We love the offer feature.
And again, we mean the buyer sending an offer to the seller. They can get 80% off at the max discount. Offers to likers. So now we're looking at sellers sending offers to the watchers, likers, whatever it's called.
Whoever's paying attention.
They are allowed in Mercari. That's kind of newish. They did it after Posh did.
Surprise.
But theirs is a little complicated.
It's kind
of hard to figure out.
It's kind of irritating.
So
like, it's really irritating.
The first time that you send an offer to your liker on Mercari, it has to be 10% off, which might sound kind of familiar. Then, when there's a new liker, you have to wait 3 days before you can send another offer to likers. And it has to be $1 less than the last time you sent offers out.
So every 3 days it goes on $1.
And it goes to every person again, including the older likers. And really, you can send this out at any point. You don't have to have a new liker. You could go back to an old item and send out like $1 less and see if the people that liked it before suddenly are persuaded by $1 cheaper. It's a little complicated. It's a little complicated.
It doesn't make any sense.
But at least you can do it because offers to likers helps.
If your item is really popular, why should I have to wait 3 days to sell it? You know?
Like if I don't get the 3 day thing.
Like if I'm getting a ton of likes or even $1, like if I'm getting a ton of likes and a ton of attention, why should I have to wait 3 days and sell it for cheaper? So everybody makes less money and it takes more time.
I think they do the 3 day thing because they allow you to send it to the other past likers, because if you could just keep doing them as often as you'd like, you could just literally like spam someone like every 30 minutes with like $1 off, another dollar
Like
off.
I would get like every 6 hours you can send an offer.
I don't
Like
know.
every 3 days.
Yeah.
Poshmark, you can send offers to Lakers. You can send them however many times you want. I know there's a limit for how many times a specific person can get an offer from you as the seller.
Or there's like, they can get like your 10% off, and then it's like after like 3 months or something, they can re-get that price from you again if you send it out.
And it always has to be 10% off of your listed price, and then you have to do, at the minimum, the $1.80 off shipping. So it's a little more than 10%.
Yeah, there is no shipping discount you have to give on Mercari.
No.
But on both platforms, you can send more than 10% off. That's just what they require.
That's the minimum.
Bundles. There are no bundles on Mercari. Obviously, you can message people and ask if they can like take pictures and put them together for you, but there are no bundles to be made.
There are bundles on Poshmark, and they are a blessing.
Add to cart. I just thought of this one. There is add to cart on Mercari, where it basically lets you do other sellers into one cart. You do still have to pay the shipping.
You pay for everything
for all of them.
as one big chunk. So if you buy 3 things, you pay each item individually, and then you pay each item's individual shipping.
Yes.
So, I mean, like, it's kind of a time saver, but it's also like...
Which Poshmark does not allow, but obviously you can just buy stuff separately from separate people. Private messaging. Mercari does have private messaging. If you go on a listing, you can hit message buyer.
Poshmark does not have the specific, like the Mercari, like the message offer button, but if you add something to a bundle, doesn't even need to be what you're buying. You can...
It's its own form.
You can talk to the seller directly.
Public comments that everyone can read. Mercari does not have any public comments. You cannot see any communication that anyone else has had with the seller on an item.
Poshmark, however, does have public comments, which I think is a big one of their like social platform.
It is nice.
Aspects. It is super nice.
You can see information that maybe wasn't in the description.
Or like if somebody's being shifty, you can
Shoisty.
see people saying, "Hey, you're being shifty."
Shipping services. So Mercari does their shipping through FedEx, UPS, and USPS, and you can choose to just ship it yourself and do your own custom one, which I believe there are even more carriers that they do allow you to choose for that then.
There's like
DHL.
Yeah, and I was gonna say
I knew there's a
DHL
couple
is the last
more.
one.
Yeah.
And on Poshmark, the only shipping service that you can use is the USPS.
More on shipping. We've got a couple things to cover here. So on Mercari, you are supposed to use your own box, or you can use the priority mail boxes if it's a priority mail sale that do not say flat rate on them. You are not allowed to use flat rate boxes, or they will bill you later for the difference for using the flat rate.
I made that mistake before, and it was like a $9 little boo-boo.
Yeah.
It's bad. Poshmark, you can use flat rate boxes and any kind of like unbranded envelope. Same thing with Mercari.
Yeah. On Posh, it's basically you can use all the same things, but they also allow you to use the flat rate,
which is so nice. It's so handy.
On Mercari, there are many different price levels to the shipping that you do through Mercari, and you can also do your own, like I said, which means you can use pirate ship, or you can go to the post office and make your own shipping label with your own box, etc.
Yes. Poshmark, the shipping fee is always $7.11, but you always have to use the Poshmark label. You don't have the option to make your own.
And last for shipping, on Mercari, the seller can offer free shipping, but there's no such thing as like a shipping discount. You can't like split the price of shipping with the buyer.
No.
It's just full price shipping, or you pay it yourself.
Poshmark, you can do the free shipping. You can offer somebody free shipping, but you can also offer them the shipping discount.
As for delivery, once the item is delivered, Mercari allows the buyer 3 days to rate you, and when they rate you, it does literally ask for a rating, like a specific. It's on a 5-star scale, just like
Poshmark. So same thing with Mercari. On Poshmark, you get 3 days to rate or accept as delivered, I guess, but you don't need to like say anything or do any stars. You can just hit like accept.
Yeah, that's the main difference. Is on Posh, you can just hit accept if you just don't want to rate.
Just don't feel like it. Don't rate people. That's nice.
But they're both based off of a 5-star scale, and they both have the thing where you can kind of pick like fast shipper, good communication.
Yeah.
Except for Posh, it's like the improvements, so it's more like the negatives.
Yeah. If you give less than 5 stars, it's like, what could the seller improve on? And Mercari, the presets are just like, this person's like,
did these well.
Like, you know, responsive communication, fast shipping, whatever.
Ratings. So on Mercari, the buyer can see every rating you've ever got,
Very true.
everything that everyone's ever said, and all of those same things that are like good seller, fast shipper.
Or if they're not so good. Poshmark only lets the buyers see the 5-star ratings or the like love notes, as they're called. But you as a seller can obviously go into your settings and look at your negative
But
reviews.
the buyers will not see your
No,
rating
they won't ever see that.
or your rating overall. Whereas on Mercari, you can see the person's overall average rating.
Yeah.
Fees. This is the one that a lot of people dwell on, and the difference between Mercari and Poshmark. So the fee on Mercari is 10%.
And the fee on Poshmark is 20%.
Yes. Returns. So on Mercari, the returns are reviewed by Mercari to see if it's something that like is eligible for a return and if it's like a good justified return. And once the return, if it is allowed and accepted, this is the one hole in our information. We actually haven't had a return on Mercari, so I'm not sure who pays for it. I'm not sure if Mercari sends you a label, if you have to buy your own label, if the seller or if the buyer has to get one. I don't really know.
I feel like they would just send you a return label.
I feel like they'd send you one, but if you did your own shipping, I don't know.
Yeah,
So
that's tricky.
that's a gray area.
Poshmark, same thing. It's reviewed by Poshmark through the app. And then they just send, if it's approved, then they send the buyer a return label. And they get 7 days to ship it. I don't know how many days you get on Mercari. Like if there's like a limit or if it's just like you can ship it whenever.
And Poshmark covers that. That's all on them. And also both of those, they don't have like set amounts of times that a return takes. It's kind of like
Whenever
it
the
can
app
be
gets
literally
to it.
the same day I've had returns be accepted that I've filed, or it can be like a week. Sometimes return
it can
cases
really
take a
kind
long
of, it can
time.
really take kind of a long time.
Customer service. On Mercari, the customer service is slightly faster and it is 100% through the app. There is no email involved.
Poshmark, it's a little slow, you know, every now and again. Sometimes you get a pretty quick response, but you do have to contact Poshmark support. So there's like a specific email that you're supposed to go to.
Yeah. And then we just have a couple miscellaneous things that we thought of at the end. On Mercari, there is no sharing.
You obviously share a lot on Poshmark.
Yes. There is following on Mercari. You can follow people.
And you can follow people on Poshmark as well.
Once you go to someone else's like store, it's not a closet. Obviously on Mercari, it's kind of a store. There aren't really any filters to go through anything. You can just hide stuff they've sold in the past, or else it's just you just see everything they
It's
have
just like a dumping
in a
ground.
list.
Poshmark, you go into somebody's closet and there's a ton of filters you can use. So if it's like, if there's a gender section you want to go to, or like a size, or like if you want to go to the home section of their closet, you can do that.
And last but not least, on Mercari, there's this thing called verification where you can get yourself verified by sending Mercari like a picture of your ID. You can connect some social
driver's license.
Yeah, you can connect some social medias and stuff, and it puts like a checkbox by you, and it just gives the buyer more like confidence that like you're a real person,
Yeah, and you're gonna ship their
and
stuff.
like you live at the address you have in your account, and it's just it's more confidence,
Poshmark has the ambassador program, which just means you're kind of like
reliable.
not somebody who's doing this to just like clear stuff out of their closet. It's kind of like a little bit more than that. But yeah, it's definitely that kind of like reliability factor. I feel like
Neither of them are like a rewards program or anything.
No,
they're
we don't
both
make
just
any money
kind
from
of
the
like
ambassador program.
yes, they're both just like for good sellers or for people that are trustworthy. And those are the main and most of the differences that we could come up with between Mercari and Poshmark. I am sure that there's somehow
There's
still
probably
some that we've
definitely
missed.
a few more.
I am shocked that there's so many. I kind of like you think of these two things, you're like, oh, an app for selling stuff. There's nothing. It's the
thing.
same idea, same thing.
They're
but like
definite.
there's a lot of differences.
They're definite. They're not twins. They are sisters.
So let us know if you learned something from this video, if you liked more Mercari content, what you want to see from us in the
Mercari
future.
sellers now.
Yeah. What you want to see from us in the future, and if you know any other differences between Mercari and Poshmark. And we will see you for What's Sold Saturday on Saturday.
Also, right after this video premieres, go watch. We are doing a live with Leslie, a reseller's passion, and her lovely daughter Stacy.
Yes.
At 7 p.m. Central.
So
9
it's
p.m.
right after. That's why this premiere. If you're watching the premiere, that's why it's
at 6.
earlier because we're gonna be live with Leslie. 7 p.m. Central. Just Google it.
Google the time changes. That's not my job.
So thank you for joining us, and we will see you on Saturday.
Bye.
Bye.